Performative social behavior is a compliance mechanism. It is not a personality trait, and it is not a preference. It is a conditioned response to repeated social feedback, learned early and reinforced continuously. The individual adapts in order to reduce risk, not to express identity. The process begins with exposure to correction. Subtle disapproval, ridicule, exclusion, or withdrawal register as threat. The nervous system responds by narrowing expression. Speech is filtered, affect is regulated, difference is muted. What survives is what passes without consequence. This adaptation does not feel artificial, it feels reasonable. It is experienced as being normal, mature, or socially skilled. Because the behavior is rewarded with inclusion, it becomes automatic. Over time, the monitoring of oneself in social space becomes constant and largely unconscious. What is performed is not a role in the theatrical sense. It is constraint. The individual learns to stay within a safe bandwidth of expression. Opinions are softened. Reactions are delayed. Spontaneity is suppressed in favor of predictability. The goal is not approval, but invisibility at the margins. This produces a chronic division of attention. Part of awareness is directed outward, tracking the social field. Another part is directed inward, managing tone, posture, and timing. The result is persistent low-grade tension. This state is often misdiagnosed as social anxiety or introversion, but it is more accurately described as continuous self-regulation under perceived threat. The compulsion to fit in is not motivated by desire, it is driven by conditioning. The body anticipates consequences even when none are present. The absence of explicit danger does not deactivate the response. The behavior continues because it has worked. Understanding this pattern is not a matter of self-expression or confidence. Those are secondary concepts. The primary requirement is observation without interference, seeing the moment where speech is edited before it occurs, seeing the impulse to align in order to avoid distinction, seeing the hesitation that appears when deviation becomes possible. This observation must be precise and unsentimental. Moral language is irrelevant. There is no fault to assign. The system is functioning as trained. When this mechanism is seen clearly, without attempting to correct or replace it, it begins to lose authority. Not because it is resisted, but because it is no longer operating in the dark. The behavior weakens as its necessity is questioned at the level of perception, not belief. What remains is not authenticity or freedom in the abstract. It is reduced internal management, less monitoring, less compression. Interaction becomes simpler because it is no longer filtered through constant threat assessment. The removal of the mask does not produce relief at first. It produces exposure, awkwardness, silence, uneven response. These are not problems. They are the absence of a control structure. In that absence, behavior becomes proportionate to the actual situation rather than to inherited fear. That is the only meaningful shift.